Alrighty, guys. Well, we're getting closer every single day. This is an objective fact. We're getting closer to Avengers Doomsday. Unless it gets moved again, in which case we're not getting closer to Avengers Doomsday. But it seems like, for the most part, Avengers Doomsday is still on track. And there have been reports and there have been rumors and things like that the Kevin Feige is a little bit concerned because of the Electric State, the movie that the Russo brothers have just recently directed and released, which is not getting good reviews, to put it kindly. It's getting very terrible reviews, in fact. But you know, the Russo brothers, whenever they make MCU projects, they've been amazing. And so whenever they've not made MCU projects other than Community and the projects they did before Captain America the Winter Soldier, they have been terrible. So, and I'm talking about not for me personally, just for the critics, right, in general. So it remains to be seen how they handle Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. But every time they enter the MCU, they seem to do really well. So I'm hoping that that's the case. Anyways, we'll probably end up doing a segment at some point predicting the entire roster for Avengers Doomsday. Hopefully before, anything gets announced, because I think it'd be fun to kind of predict what's going to go on, what's going to happen in the story and whatnot. But a character that we saw those quote unquote leaked images, which I don't know if they really are leaked concept art. The Russo brothers denied. Who knows, right? Who knows? But in one of them, we saw She-Hulk in what is being dubbed as Greenland from the comics. This is a Hulk village where a bunch of Hulks are just hanging out. Not that Greenland. The Greenland of, I guess, referring to a bunch of Hulks just hanging around. And it looks like that was a variant, right? These are variants of Hulks, I think, one would think. So it looks like Jennifer Walters is there and hanging out with Bruce Banner in some kind of version of a bunch of Hulks just hanging around. But I think the question is the version in Earth 616 of Jennifer Walters as She-Hulk, is she ever going to come back? And honestly, I had my doubts. Not because of She-Hulk in particular, but because I think the MCU just needed to focus on a core group of characters, and it's for the same reasons that I don't think Moon Knight is going to have a presence, a big presence, if any, at all, in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, or Werewolf by Night, or Blade, or the Eternals, or a bunch of other characters that, yes, have been a part of the MCU, but just I don't think fit into the story that we're going to be telling here. Who knows? I could be totally wrong. The Eternals could be the key to Secret Wars for all I know. It could be possible. So I've been operating under that assumption. However, there is a rumor going around, and I'm going to file this somewhere in between a rumor and a report, right? We've talked about this many, many times. The sources you should trust: Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Deadline. And then there are other reporters that have scoops that are generally accurate, though I never really qualify that as news per se, just rumors and reports. And this is coming from comicbookmovie.com, which, I don't know the reputability of them in terms of scooping. I know that they generally report on the news pretty well. That's just my assumption, my understanding. So take this with a grain of salt. And we're gonna file this under rumor for now. Rumor and report. Between rumor and report. But there is something going around that says not only is Jennifer Walters going to reprise her role, or excuse me, Tatiana Maslany is going to reprise her role as Jennifer Walters in Avengers Doomsday, but she might have a significant role. So this is what happened, and I'm going to read from a direct article, the direct article that talks about what happened in this comicbookmovie.com article. So it says, quote, a canceled Comic-Con appearance as discovered by CBM, Comic Book Movie, may have indicated when Tatiana Maslany is set to return to the MCU as Jennifer Walters / She-Hulk. In mid-March, Comic-Con Liverpool announced that Maslany had to cancel her planned appearances at the event, which take place from May 3rd to May 4th, 2025. One theory that has fans intrigued indicates that this is being due to the fact that she is set to be filming as She-Hulk in Avengers Doomsday at that time. So that's all speculation. But then the quote continues. Additionally, CBM dug into the news and reported it to be accurate. So that's where this rumor report is coming from. On top of the fact that she will reportedly be in Avengers Doomsday, Maslany's role in the film is said to be fairly significant. Okay. So again, let's file this all under rumor and report because we don't know if this is true. We don't know how accurate this all is. Do I believe that this is true? Honestly, not really. And it's not because I don't want Tatiana Maslany to return. I've said this before. I think that she would be a great addition to return in the MCU because I don't think that She-Hulk was her fault. And I'm not even saying this as someone who hates She-Hulk wholeheartedly and holistically. I think there are problems with She-Hulk. There are scenes in She-Hulk that I just don't jive with. But in terms of overall product, I don't think it was great, but I don't think Tatiana Maslany was the problem with it. So would I have a problem with her returning to the MCU? No. I just don't see, and this is my own personal bias, my own personal opinion speaking, I don't see a version of Avengers Doomsday where she has a significant role in the same way that I don't see a version, again, it has nothing to do with Tatiana Maslany, it's nothing to do with a female Avenger or anything like that. I know that there are people out there who believe that, and I think that that's terrible, that, oh yes, a female Avenger shouldn't have a big role. No, none of that. But in terms of She-Hulk, I frankly don't understand what what her role would be in Avengers Doomsday. This is me saying this, having zero information on what the plot of Avengers Doomsday actually is. And I say this as someone who, frankly, I don't know what Hawkeye's role will be in Avengers Doomsday. I mean, he always finds himself on the team. I don't know. I just don't know. So right now, right? And I only go off of this because the report says fairly significant, right? Because, Hawkeye for sure had a fairly significant role in Avengers Age of Ultron. So maybe it's in that way, or maybe she's somehow the emotional core of the movie. That would be interesting, right? So I don't know what her role could be. I'm just more talking about in terms of plot. Like, fairly significant as in they send her on a mission that is really important to face Doctor Doom. Maybe. It could be possible. So really, this is less of me saying I don't want it to happen and me just going, I really can't fathom what that is right now. That being said, I'm totally open to whatever the Russos, McFeely are cooking up, and I think that it would be interesting. And I just want to see Tatiana Maslany back, and I really want her to be in a project where fans don't just hate on it, rightly or wrongly, whatever your opinion is. I hope that she can come back to the MCU in a way where people really fall in love with her and her character in the MCU. So, what do you guys think of this rumor? We're going to call it a rumor, that Tatiana Maslany will be returning in Avengers Doomsday as She-Hulk, but not only that, she will have a significant role. Let me know in the comments down below.